What if the final hour changes everything? The Blood of My Blood episode 10 trailer has dropped, and it's pure chaos wrapped in heartbreak, betrayal, and destiny. Every secret that's been buried since the beginning is now crawling to the surface. The question is, who will survive the storm that's about to hit? The trailer opens with a haunting sense of quiet. But if we've learned anything from this series, silence is never peace. It's the warning before destruction. After the emotional devastation of episode 9, the characters stand at the edge of their breaking points. Ellen is trapped in a fate she never chose, and Brian is caught between love and death. Their paths, though torn apart, are moving toward one final collision. In the fragments shown in the trailer, we see Ellen in her bridal gown. The soft light flickers on her face, but her eyes are hollow, lost in the weight of her own sacrifice. Every frame screams that this wedding is not a celebration. It's a cage. Malcolm Grant stands by her side, not as a groom filled with joy, but as a man determined to possess what he can't truly have. His once gentle admiration has twisted into obsession, and Ellen knows if she goes through with this marriage, she'll lose herself forever. Then comes Brian, the man who's already lost everything, his name, his father's respect, the woman he loves, is now ready to risk it all again. The trailer hints that he's moving in the shadows, desperate and reckless. There's a shot of him on horseback, the wind cutting through the mist, his eyes set on the Grant stronghold. It's not just about love anymore, it's about defying fate. Brian knows Colum's men are still hunting him, but his love for Ellen has already crossed the line between sanity and survival. And that's where the suspense thickens. We see brief glimpses of Colum, his fury burning colder than ever. He's not just a brother anymore. He's a ruler protecting the honor of his family. Ellen's disobedience has humiliated him, and Brian's defiance has become a threat to his power. For Colum, it's no longer personal, it's political, and that makes him even more dangerous. Meanwhile, behind the drama of Ellen and Brian's love story, the world around them is trembling. The Jacobite cause is stirring again, and the rebellion's shadow spreads across Scotland. The teaser gives us flashes, banners torn by the wind, soldiers marching under dim skies, whispers of war echoing through the Highlands. This isn't just a story about lovers anymore. It's a story about families, clans, and kingdoms all on the verge of collapse. But the most chilling moment in the trailer doesn't come from a battle or a confrontation. It comes from Ellen herself, standing before the mirror in her wedding gown. She whispers something we can barely hear, but the look on her face says it all. She's made her choice. She won't go quietly. Whether it means running away or fighting back, Ellen Fraser is no longer just someone's sister or lover. She's a woman who's ready to rewrite her fate. The tension builds as the trailer cuts between Ellen's forced wedding preparations and Brian's desperate journey toward her. Each heartbeat feels heavier, each glimpse more dangerous. A torchlight flickers in the distance. Hooves thunder through the forest. And then the scream. It's impossible to tell whose it is. By now, every viewer knows. The finale isn't going to be about who wins or loses. It's about who survives. And yet, the trailer doesn't stop there. For those who've been following the Henry and Julia storyline, the next scene hits like a dagger. Their escape plan, whispered through shadows and stolen glances, finally begins to unfold. But the expression on Julia's face tells us one thing. This isn't going to end the way we think. Henry's determination is fierce, his love for her undeniable, but the prophecy that hangs over their child still haunts every step they take. Julia might have to make the most painful choice of her life, to leave behind what she loves most to save them all. Every frame of this trailer feels like a countdown to something inevitable. Bloodlines are being tested. Promises are breaking. Love, loyalty, and legacy are all colliding into one explosive moment. And as the music rises, the final words appear. Blood will answer blood. That single line sends chills down your spine. Because in this world, every choice is paid in blood and no one escapes their fate forever. If the first half of the trailer was about choices, the second half is about consequences. Every secret, every betrayal, every forbidden kiss has brought the characters to this final point. And now there's no turning back. The trailer slows down, giving us a moment to breathe, but that calm doesn't last. We see Ellen being led down the aisle, the sound of drums echoing faintly in the background. Her face is pale, not from fear, but from heartbreak. The moment she's dreamed of all her life, to marry for love, not duty, has turned into a nightmare written by her brothers. The crowd of lords and clansmen watches, but their applause feels hollow. Each clap is like a nail sealing her fate, yet something feels off. The trailer shows quick cuts, Ellen's trembling hands, a glance exchanged with one of the maids, and a brief, almost invisible smile before she lowers her veil. The audience is left wondering, what is she planning? Has she already found a way out? Then, in the next shot, everything changes. The doors of the great hall burst open. The music stops and chaos follows. Brian Fraser storms in, blood-streaked and desperate, his eyes locked on Ellen. The crowd gasps, swords are drawn, and Malcolm Grant steps forward, fury burning in his eyes. This moment feels like destiny colliding head-on with rebellion. Brian knows this is suicide, but love has already made him fearless. The screen flashes, torches falling, soldiers yelling, Ellen screaming Brian's name. And in a twist that mirrors the prophecy of love and blood, a bride is taken away. But the trailer doesn't make it clear who it is. Is it Ellen, or the maid disguised as her? That uncertainty is what makes the finale so unbearable to wait for. Meanwhile, far from the chaos of the wedding, we see Henry and Julia hiding in the woods. The tone shifts from fire to sorrow. Julia holds her son close, whispering words of comfort through tears. Henry's face is filled with determination, but also despair. He knows time is slipping away. The prophecy that once felt like superstition now feels like a curse. The trailer reveals a haunting image. Julia looking back at her child as she disappears into the fog, her expression torn between love and duty. That single shot tells us everything. Her journey with Henry will cost her more than anyone can imagine. Back in the Highlands, Colum is preparing for war. His fury over Ellen's disappearance spreads like wildfire across the clans. We hear his voice echoing in the trailer, saying something chilling. If she defies her blood, then her blood will pay the price. Those words promise that the conflict isn't just about lovers anymore. It's about families tearing each other apart. The teaser then flashes to scenes of soldiers sharpening blades, men pledging loyalty to their clans, and banners raised under stormy skies. The fallen flag from episode 9 becomes a powerful symbol. It's not just the end of peace, it's the beginning of rebellion. The war of love has turned into the war of nations. One of the most haunting moments in the trailer shows Ellen and Brian riding through the forest under moonlight, chased by soldiers. Their faces are filled with both terror and relief. They have each other, but at what cost? Behind them, their families burn bridges that will never be rebuilt. Every hoofbeat feels like a heartbeat counting down to tragedy. And then, for a split second, the screen cuts to Julia. She's standing in a different time, modern, quiet, and strange. Her reflection appears older, wiser, haunted. It's a glimpse of the future, a thread connecting the world of my blood to Outlander itself. This tiny moment reminds viewers that history doesn't end, it repeats. Bloodlines, time, and fate are all part of the same endless circle. The trailer ends with overlapping voices, Ellen whispering, "I will find my way," Brian saying, "no matter where they take you," and Colum's chilling vow, "Blood will answer blood." The screen fades to black. That's when the logo appears. Blood of my blood, episode 10. The words shimmer like steel. Beneath them, the faint echo of bagpipes plays, slow and sorrowful. It's not just a finale, it's a reckoning. Every character is standing on the edge of destiny. Ellen is ready to fight for love. Brian is ready to die for it. Henry and Julia are ready to flee into an uncertain future, and as the storm of rebellion rises, one truth becomes clear: no one escapes their bloodline. This finale will not just close a chapter. It will redefine everything we thought we knew about this world, these families, and the tangled threads of love and fate that tie them together. The trailer's final moments feel like standing on the edge of a cliff. The air heavy, the silence louder than any scream. Every character, every decision, every secret from the start of Blood of My Blood has led to this. The finale promises not just closure, but consequences that will echo far beyond one generation. The scene opens with chaos. Flames rise against the night sky as soldiers storm the woods, their torches cutting through the darkness. Ellen and Brian, now fugitives, have nowhere left to hide. Exhaustion paints their faces, but the way they look at each other says everything. They'd rather die together than live apart. There's no more hesitation, no more fear. Love has become their only weapon. In the trailer, Ellen clutches the edge of her gown, torn and muddy, as Brian leads her through the mist. Behind them, we hear shouts, Column's men closing in. And then, just when it seems they're surrounded, the scene cuts to black. We hear Brian whisper, "You're free now." The trailer gives no hint of whether those words come before salvation or death. That mystery is what grips the audience the most. But the story doesn't just belong to them anymore. We cut to Henry, standing at the edge of a cliff, his coat whipping in the wind. Julia is gone, her silhouette fading into the fog below. He turns, holding the child she left behind. The prophecy's meaning becomes painfully clear. One must be lost for the other to survive. Henry's face hardens. He's not just a father now. He's a protector standing against fate itself. Then, in a masterful parallel, we see Colum facing the aftermath of his sister's betrayal. The once proud leader of Clan Mackenzie looks broken, his power slipping through his fingers. The trailer shows him burning Ellen's portrait, a symbolic act of erasing her from the family line. Yet, his final words, muttered under his breath, are chilling. No one escapes their blood. It's both a curse and a prophecy, binding the story's next generation. As the music swells, the trailer shifts again, scenes flashing like lightning, soldiers marching toward the battlefield, banners of the Jacobite rebellion unfurling, and the first sparks of war igniting across Scotland. The voice of a preacher echoes over it all, saying, "When kings fall, families burn." The show isn't just preparing us for a finale, it's preparing us for the world to collapse. But among all that chaos, there's a flicker of hope. The final glimpse of Ellen and Brian shows them standing on a distant cliff overlooking the highlands. They're wounded, breathless, but alive. Ellen turns to Brian and says, "We may have lost everything, but at least we are free." It's a quiet moment of defiance, a reminder that even in ruin, love can still survive. Then the trailer teases something no one expected, a transition. The camera pans upward, the landscape dissolving from the fog of the 18th century into the streets of the modern world. A voice, familiar yet distant, speaks. Time is not a straight line. It's blood that connects us. The screen flashes the name Claire Fraser. For the first time, the connection between Blood of My Blood and Outlander becomes undeniable. We see a woman's hand, older, steadier, holding a faded letter. The voiceover continues. To understand where you come from, you must face the blood that came before you. It's not just a teaser. It's a promise that the legacy of Ellen and Brian will stretch far beyond their own time, shaping generations to come. The music fades into the soft hum of bagpipes, almost mournful. The camera lingers on the battlefield being prepared. The earth scarred, the soldiers silent. We know the Battle of Prestonpans is coming. The trailer doesn't show the fight, but the dread in the air is unmistakable. This is history in motion. The moment where the love stories, betrayals, and sacrifices of every character will crash into the fire of war. And then silence. The final shot, blood dripping onto snow. A hand, trembling, reaches down to touch it. We never see whose it is. Over it, a final line appears on screen. In the end, blood remembers. That's how the trailer leaves us, haunted, breathless, desperate for answers. It's not just a finale. It's a promise that the story of Blood of My Blood is far from over. Because this is not just a show about love, it's about legacy. About how every decision, every sacrifice, every drop of blood spilled in the name of family becomes part of something greater. Ellen and Brian's story might find peace for now, but the storm of rebellion, fate, and time is just beginning. And as fans, we know what comes next, Outlander. The connection is no longer hidden. It's destiny unfolding before our eyes. So, as the trailer ends and the screen fades to black, one thing becomes clear. The past never dies, it lives in the blood.